Speaker. Okay. So nice to see you guys coming in. Hello, Magdalena and Kathleen. We're going to be getting started in just a moment. We're just getting this set up to go live in Facebook. There we go.
Live on Facebook. My hair is not ready for it.
Don't worry. It's going to mostly just be me.
Speaker view.
Yeah, it's on speaker view right now. And you look gorgeous, my dear, with that beautiful backlight. It looks just great. So Magdalena, where are you coming in from?
I share my life between Fort McMurray, Alberta, and Whitby, Ontario. So right now I'm in Whitby.
Beautiful. And so the weather is warming up, right?
It's gorgeous. 29 degrees, and I came from +2, so.
Oh, perfect. Yes.
Frosting.
Wonderful. Well, I want to just thank you all for joining as you're coming in. And if you could, when you come in, mute yourselves. And I'm going to give Teresa access to co-host so that we can. There we go. Okay, Teresa, you should have that access now. Hello, Miss Vicky. Miss Vicky is a trooper. You look incredible. I just don't understand it. All right, everyone. For those of you that are joining in, I just want to thank you again for being here. My name is Amber Duggar. I'm the founder of Profit for Keeps. And we recognize that a lot of times there may not be enough time to go through the challenge that we offer pretty regularly. And we really wanted to make sure that we were able to provide somewhat of a summary of what we discuss in that challenge and what you can take away from that challenge. And so we are streaming this into Facebook, but it is on speaker view, so you don't need to worry. It shouldn't be showing anyone but me at the moment. And I'm just really, really excited and grateful for everyone being here today. It's one of those things that I think once you get a really beautiful relationship with money and have a really clear picture of how you're managing the cash flow side of your business and in your life as well, it is one of those things that is like riding a bike. Once you learn it, it's like, how did this ever seem scary to me before? And it gives you a certain level of peace in your life as well. And that's really what our mission is here at Profit for Keeps, is to eradicate the financial anxiety and overwhelm that really comes with running a business and really just living life in general. And there's really just honestly very little education out there, and we didn't really learn this as children, and somehow we're expected to know how to do this. And so I'm just really grateful for your time and your attention. So I'm going to ask that if you can, this will be about a 90-minute call. So if you can block out any emails or other browsers and just have a beautiful space for you to really take in this information and have a place to take notes, because there will definitely be a lot of value given in this session as well. So I would love to just hear from anyone, and you guys can just put this in the chat. If you're watching this live, you can put this in the comments. We'll be coming back and answering questions as well. If you could travel today, because things are starting to open up again, where would you go and why? I am a huge wanderlust. I love to travel. So I would just love to start this just learning a little more about where everyone would love to be traveling to. And as you come in, if you wouldn't mind just muting yourselves, and Teresa, if you wouldn't mind muting people as they come in, that would be amazing. Yes. Okay. So I know for me personally, I would love to be going to Greece. I have never been to Greece, and I just had a conversation with a client earlier today, and her son is getting ready to go. And it is a place that I've always wanted to go. I love the beautiful white buildings with the contrast of the sea. I see that Heather wants to go to Colorado to visit her sister. Teresa, I know, of course, Scotland is top of mind. Gianna would love to go to Florida, visit her mom, friends, and family. Magna, Hawaii, and Newfoundland are my top two for now. Ooh, Newfoundland, that would be really beautiful. Kathleen would return to Ireland. Yes, I agree, Kathleen. Ireland is one of the most aesthetically peaceful places I've ever been in my life. I think the amount of green is just so incredibly overwhelming in a good way. Another Teresa, Buenos Aires. Oh my gosh, I have never been to that part of the world. That would be incredible. Portugal, yes. Bora Bora, Vicky. That sounds fun. I've never been to Bora Bora. I was in Portugal actually at the beginning of the pandemic. I was just funny enough, just looking at photos from that visit just a few minutes ago. It's really nice to just kind of transport yourself back there. Okay, so clearly I'm not alone with the amount of people that really love to travel here. So I just want to again remind you, so what we're going to be doing today and what you're going to be learning today is really how to set up a profitable and sustainable business, how to be able to consistently pay yourself with variable income, and really some effective debt pay down strategies as well. But ultimately, what I'm really looking for you to take away from this is recognizing that it is absolutely possible to heal your relationship with money, to see money as a resource, to feel confident in the way that you are managing your money. And even if you feel right now, if you're saying to yourself, I'm not good with money, this is something I need to outsource or delegate, I'm hoping that by the end of this conversation, you will see that it is not only possible, but something that I deeply believe that everyone is good with money. They just simply haven't found a system that works for them yet. And my hopes are that you will really see this and have this seed that's planted for yourself that allows you to really feel empowered about the fact that, yes, it is possible for you to not only know how to manage your money, but really thrive and be able to build wealth and be able to keep the money that you are so good at making. So I want to make sure that you stay until the end because we will be sharing some exclusive offer bonuses for those that decide that they do want to move forward and go into Profit for Keeps. This is our signature framework. It's a really incredible program that has just allowed a lot of entrepreneurs be able to pay down hundreds of thousands of dollars of debt while still being able to increase and accumulate their set wealth point. And so there's in this last year, we've had a lot of ups and downs, right? I mean, some have viewed this to be a very beautiful time and that we're spending more time with family. We're able to really assess and see what is most important to us. And I think those are some beautiful silver linings to what has happened in the last year. And it's really given me even more determination to get the word out about this movement of Profit for Joy. And that is because I have had countless emails and messages from clients, both current and former clients, who have really expressed a lot of gratitude in understanding that in this last year, without having a framework like this, they would have been in a very different place financially. And now that we really have been able to see something that is a good, solid example of why you want to have somewhat of a buffer, have aged money in your life in personal and business, it's a really great way to just kind of reference to be able to say, okay, well, if this happens again, it's going to be such a beautiful place for me to be in from a financial perspective. So I really hope you guys are looking forward to having a really fun next about 75 minutes, 80 minutes left today. I just think that if you are coming here and just curious, I am inspired by you. I'm inspired that you're spending your precious time learning about finances and money and this wealth consciousness as well. And it's really inspiring to me because honestly, anything that is not familiar is awkward and uncomfortable. And it is also a subject where we have very traditionally not spoken about it very often, and it's kind of a taboo subject. And so that is really something I'm looking to break down, is that taboo, and to be able to really speak about this more. And so I'm just really looking forward to seeing and having this conversation. So we'll be opening up this, of course, to questions as well. And in the interim, what I'd really love to do, and this is something that I've done many times over. So if you've been on a call with me before, you may have done this before, but it's definitely something that every time I do this, and I do this each morning, it is a very powerful experience. And ultimately, there's no reason for us to be looking at our finances, looking at our money, looking at a system to allow ourselves to pay ourselves consistently unless we're very clear on what it is that we want to do with the resources, with the money that we're paying ourselves. Why are we in business? Why did we start an endeavor where we're completely on our own? Well, it's typically due to some type of freedom. I would love to hear in the chat why you started your business. What is the deep core reason? What sparked that desire to start your own business? I would love to just hear in the chat. For me personally, it really stemmed from my Nana, stemmed from my grandmother. I'm originally from New Mexico. I have lived in Virginia the last, close to 20 years. And while my grandmother was still alive, I would spend every week of my vacation with her. And so it really limited my ability to do really anything else. I traveled all throughout high school and into college. I lived in Costa Rica, I lived in Prague, I lived in several different places in the world. But for about 10 years, I didn't do any world travel. It was only to New Mexico and was only to visit my Nana. And I told her, I said, I really want to be able to spend a month with you. I don't want to have to be here for a week at a time. She was my very, very best friend. And that was really what started me to focus on how can I leave my current job? How can I make this my own reality? And I'm very thankful that it was only 2 years into my business, and my grandmother sadly was declining. And I was able to spend a full month with her. And I was doing sales calls and then coming into the other room and spending time with her, going back and doing sales calls and having more time with her. And it was the most amazing thing. And I really am very grateful that I was able to do that. And of course, since then, having location independence, having autonomy is just such a beautiful thing. So I see these comments are coming in. Help others, definitely, but also not have to rely on my husband for our finances. Freedom to work from home. Teresa, being more independent and flexible with my own time. Absolutely. Magda says independence, freedom to work from anywhere. Gianna, to show people that being healthy does not have to be difficult. And for me, having freedom of time, money, and location. As you can see here, there's a lot of correlations with freedom, right? Because when we do run our own business, we do have that freedom, that flexibility, that time that we can choose when we're going to be working, when we're not. Oh, I see Joe's here. Hi, Joe. Spending time overseas months at a time, family, grandmother, Europe. Yes, absolutely. And Joe, you've done that, which is so amazing. Joe has actually implemented this framework and she has gone to Europe. And actually, I remember, Joe, when you took your mom, or no. Did you take your mom? I can't remember. Maybe I'm confusing with another friend of mine, but I know that you definitely went with a friend of yours. That was a lot of fun. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing this name correctly or not. Is it Mine or I hope I'm saying that right.
Yes, it's Mine.
Thank
That's
you.
right.
Oh, good. Okay. I'm so glad I said it right. I was not making enough money for my job. I wanted to help others and show them how to build a better life and keep their jobs like me. I love that. So as you can see, we're in a circle of beautiful impact-driven entrepreneurs that are looking to really make a difference and at the same time be able to have that time freedom to be able to spend more time with family, to be able to travel more, to be able to work from different locations instead of being tied to a specific routine. And one thing that really makes all the difference in the world is having a system that allows you to manage variable income and still be able to pay yourself consistently. And all of that, none of that really matters unless we have this very clear picture in our mind of where we're going, of what we want to be able to be creating, of what we want to be able to sustain. So if you are open to it, I suggest and I encourage you to close your eyes, and we're going to do a quick visualization. This is going to be the basis and the foundation of everything we're talking about today. I want you to take a nice deep breath in and out. Take a good look at your life right now. If you don't like something about it, I want you to imagine the life you desire. Now, allow yourself to focus your inner eye on the person you would have to be in order to create your preferred life. What type of thoughts are you thinking? What clothes are you wearing? Where are you? What are you surrounded by? What noises do you hear in the background? What noises and sounds do you hear inside the room you're in or the space you're in? Really pay attention to the detail. What smells are in the air? Expand your awareness a little bit further out. What sounds are out in that outer circle of where you are? What smells are a little bit further out? What people are in the space with you? Notice the differences in how you behave and present yourself. Allow yourself to spend several seconds breathing in this new image, expanding your energy into this new mold. I want you to hold this image for several seconds and ask that it be imprinted on your subconscious mind. Now, like I mentioned, I suggest you do this every day for about 10 minutes or so, just really sitting in that space, sitting with that future self, sitting with the identity of the person you desire to be that will bring to you what you desire in this lifetime. If you share this technique with certain people, the chances are good that they'll tell you it's way too simple, and it's up to you what you choose to believe. Please impress upon me the vision of whom I'm meant to be. Reveal to me the bigger life that you would have me live. Undo the forces that keep me bound, that I might serve more. And when you're ready, just take another nice deep breath in and out. And when you're ready, open your eyes. I want you to take a moment and jot down details of what you just experienced. And if you feel called to, I would love for you to share some of that in the chat with us as well. The more that you put out into the universe, the more quickly it tends to be answered. And there's no reason for us to be discussing any of this without having a clear picture of what it is that we're looking to create. When I was in business school, I found it very frustrating when we were learning about profitability, and it was just a constant focus on hustle and more and more and more and more profit. And I asked, what are we doing with all this extra profit? Like, if we're already paying ourselves, if we're already doing these things, what are we doing with this extra profit? Oh, well, it's just to grow. We just need to grow. That was always the answer I got. And it was very frustrating to me. And what we really refer to here, profit for joy, is what you were experiencing in this visualization. The time I spent with my grandmother, that was absolutely a direct benefit of running a profitable, sustainable business. Being able to treat my stepmom, who's my absolute amazing inspiration in running a business. She ran a business and had me be an intern as a child. She and her husband, they're incredible second set of parents to me. And to be able to treat them to a first-class vacation, that's profit for joy for me. Being able to be spontaneously generous with those around me, those that I know and not, that is profit for joy. Yes, so let's see here. I'm just looking to see if there are Looks like Heather says, such a sweet and genuine story about your deep relationship with your grandma. I was inspired to go into business for myself as a learning specialist to truly implement methods and practices that I intuitively knew work to foster growth in students. Also, no cap on my income earnings, more time, and empowered feeling as a woman. Like that, Heather, gives me chills. It just is amazing to me. I love connecting with you because you all inspire me. It's just really incredible what you guys are doing. Okay, so this is so important to have this component in the beginning of this conversation, because none of this matters. Like I said, it's not going to be very motivating for you to follow any sort of framework when it comes to money, unless you have a really clear picture that it's actually possible for you to plan, prepare, and have the resources available for the things that matter to you most. It's really important to know that the person sitting next to you, if we were in a room together, is going to have a very different idea of what freedom, of what joy looks like to them. And that's okay. We're not here to keep up with one another. We're here to really satisfy what brings us joy. And some of that will require resources and some of it won't. But it doesn't mean that running a profitable, sustainable business is only about cutting costs or only about raising prices. It's not, some of that components are there for sure. But it's more about, let's just see what really brings us joy and work that in to our plan so that we are running a business that is going to generate the income that allows us to do the things that we really care about. For me, I don't really care about fancy cars. It's just not a big thing for me. So I don't have a car payment. I own my very old convertible Beetle. And I find that to be way more fun to drive than a new car because it's just a fun car to drive. And I love that it spreads joy for people. So when I'm driving with the top down, it's always the mothers with the daughters that love the car and they will smile and wave. And it's just so much fun. I don't pay a penny for that, right? Other than my property tax, etc. Now, something that someone else may have absolutely zero desire to do, I do pay for a weekly massage. Every single week I get a massage. That to me has been a game changer for my health. It's been a game changer for my body, and it really fulfills me. That may not be someone that, for example, my grandmother, she hated getting massages. So that would be a complete waste of money for her. Some of you may resonate with it, some of you may not. But the idea is that we are building a business that is allowing us to have money consistently every month for the things that we really care about. So you're learning a fixed yet flexible process today that you can use as your business grows. I want you to really take this and insert what matters to you to get a unique revenue goal. And I'm going to show you how to do this, and adds to a framework that is proven to help you achieve total and holistic clarity on your money for both business and personal. This framework just flat out works. And what makes us different than someone who's just implementing profit first is, one, we focus primarily on making sure that your personal finances are in order, that we're teaching really solid framework and foundation to have a peaceful, flowing, cash flow positive family financial system. This involves really looking at what is it that you need as a family to run a really nice month-to-month existence. So that's the first thing. The second thing is we really believe very strongly that you don't want to be delegating cash flow management to a team member, to a bookkeeper, to a virtual CFO. This is really important to take away. So if you could write down, do not delegate cash flow management. Do not delegate cash flow management. I want to quickly explain the difference between a cash flow management person, you, a bookkeeper, and a CPA or a tax accountant. So a bookkeeper is someone who is always looking backwards. They're always looking at what has already happened in the business. And it's a really important person to have in your business. And I do highly recommend that you do hire a bookkeeper if you don't have one, especially after you're making, over 6 figures in your business. It really just helps you ensure that you're being compliant with recording the transactions in your business appropriately in a software that really is helpful for your accountant to determine how much you owe in taxes. So your accountant or CPA, some of them will do bookkeeping as a separate service, but a CPA or accountant, their focus is on being extremely familiar with the tax code in your country. And they want to ensure that you are set up in a way that you're not paying a penny more or a penny less than you owe in taxes. And that's a really important person to have in your business. And it's also someone who is also looking more at tax strategy side and what's happening in your business. Now, from cash flow management, how to pay yourself consistently, how to focus on making sure you have enough money for taxes, making sure that you are consistently purposeful and intentional with the money that's coming into your business. That's what cash flow is, and that's what we're going to be talking about today. It's about actually organizing your money, not understanding taxes and bookkeeping jargon. That is not something that we need to focus on. So when I say delegate, don't delegate your cash flow management. I am not talking about bookkeeping, and I'm not talking about taxes. I am talking about the forward, visionary, forward-thinking aspects of your business when it comes to finances. So I would love to just hear in the chat if that makes sense. The difference between bookkeeping, CPA, and cash flow management. Could you just say, yes, that's clear, or no, it's not, so that we can definitely move on? I'd just love to hear a yes or a no in there. I'm just going to get a quick glass of water. Perfect. Okay. So what I want to start with is just a really quick look at the difference between a business that doesn't have Profit First implemented and a business that does. Now, we teach components of Profit First. I'm a Profit First professional, mastery level Profit First professional. And when I first came across the concept, I really realized that online business needs something done a little differently. We don't need Profit First in the way that it's taught in the book. We need it from a reverse engineered perspective of how much money do we need to be making in our business to be profitable and sustainable? And how do we organize that money? So who here has heard of Profit First, or has read the Profit First book, or has tried to implement Profit First? I would love to just hear in the chat if you have tried to implement Profit First before, or if you've heard of it, or if you're like, what the heck are you talking about? Awesome. Okay, Joe definitely has. Yes, that's how you found me. Mine says it's on my night table, but I haven't read it. Okay, perfect. I definitely have some of those books as well. Okay, so Magda has read the book and tried to implement it. Perfect. Okay, so some of you have definitely heard of it, and maybe some of you, perfect. Okay, Vicky says that's how I found you. Teresa has not heard of it. Okay, so I want to just go quickly over what Profit First is, because it's such a simple yet effective concept that we can literally go through it in about a minute. So Profit First, I'm going to actually share my screen. This is one thing I love about using Zoom over something else. Okay, so I'm going to share my screen really quickly on my iPad. So just bear with me for 2 seconds. Okay. So this is the only equation we're going to talk about today. And I'm going to change this to purple, my favorite color. Okay, so profit is defined in accounting as sales minus expenses equals profit. The problem with that is that we still need to pay ourselves. And unless we're on payroll, that's not an expense. We still need to pay our taxes. That's also not a business expense. And we still want to actually have cash in the bank after we have expenses. So what Profit First describes is, let's just look at this a little differently. Let's actually pay ourselves first in our business. So instead, it's equaling sales minus profit, in other words, paying yourself first, that equals what's left over for expenses. Now, if you want to take it a step further, what really you want to be doing with revenue that comes in or sales that come in is you want to be able to divide it into intentional profit. You want to be able to pay yourself, so intentional owner's pay. You want to be able to pay the taxes that you owe on the money that you're paying yourself, so personal taxes. And last but not least, business expenses. So now we're looking at 1, 2, 3, 4 main things that we want to be able to do with the money that comes into our business. But here's what generally happens in most businesses. Instead of money being organized this way, it's all going into one account. So I'm going to show you really quickly what that looks like. So at this point, I'd love for you to get out your piece of paper and write on the left-hand side of your paper a circle. And I want you to imagine this as your business account. And this is a traditional business, okay? This is 99% of the businesses out there. So we have money coming in, and then what happens? We have to pay money out, right? For bills. And then maybe we might transfer some for mortgage payment in our personal life, and then maybe more business bills until we need more money, and then more money comes in, and then more money goes out. And then unfortunately, what tends to happen is either a big expense comes in and we don't have enough money because we forgot about it. Like, let's say we pay our insurance every 6 months and you think you're doing great, and then all of a sudden, wham, you get hit by a big bill. That can make or break the business account, right? So then you can get overdrawn fees, etc. The other thing is, at the end of the year, if you owe more taxes, that is also a concern. And then it can end up becoming a payment plan or something like that. I don't even like talking about this because even looking at this stresses me out, because I know that it is a reality for many, and it is totally possible to change the way that we do this. So this is a traditional business. Now I want to just get a new piece of paper out, and we're now going to look at what it looks like to implement profit first into your online business. So instead, when money comes into the business account, imagine for a second that you're just receiving this money in cash, okay? And it's all sitting in a pile. Well, that's pretty easy, right? If we can always see our cash, it's a lot easier to figure out what to do with it. It's when we have online accounts, when we have lots of different credit cards, when we have loans and line of credits and PPP loans and all sorts of things, that it starts to feel extremely complicated and our brain starts to shut down. So I want to just take a moment and make this as simple as possible. When I do this in live workshops, we actually have 4,000 Canadian pennies. It's a fun story to tell you. We don't have time today, but it's a fun story. I have 4,000 Canadian pennies, and we actually put them in solo cups. And just imagine your solo cup full of Canadian pennies, okay? So we're going to do $1,000 coming in to the business account. And instead of it staying in the business account, we're now going to separate it into 4 main piles. So on this side, on the right-hand side of your paper, I want you to draw 4 circles right here. In the top circle, I'm going to have you label that profit. Next one is owner's pay. Next one is personal taxes. And the fourth one is business expenses. Okay, so now the last thing we need is percentages. Now, if you've read the book, then you know that there are benchmark percentages in the book, and this is where we are going to deviate from that book, because I would say that Most people that I talk to that have tried implementing Profit First have gotten stuck on this part because they ask you to get out 3 years of financial statements. Well, if you're just in the first couple of years of business, or if you just haven't had a bookkeeper, so you don't have the financial statements, it can start to get pretty confusing. So this book was written with the small business owner in mind. And when I say small business owner, I'm talking the dry cleaner down the street, the mom and pop restaurant, the landscaping business, the dental practice. Those things have financial entities typically in place where they can follow the instructions in the book. When you're an online coach or a service provider and you are not necessarily tracking things at that level, it's difficult to continue to implement. So I want to make this very clear. The percentages that I'm going to show here are an example. We're going to give you a calculator, if you don't already have it, that will give you your percentages, okay, based on what you want to pay yourself and what your business expenses are. So for this exercise, we're going to go ahead and put 5% for profit, 50% for owner's pay, 20% for taxes, and 25% for business expenses. Again, these are just examples, so don't worry about this being what you're going to be using. This is just for the sake of understanding how Profit First works in a business, okay? So we're going to now take that 1,000 and we're going to put 5%, which is $50, into the profit pile. We're going to put 50% of the 1,000, or $500, in the owner's pay pile. And as you can see, probably guess that then this is going to be 20% of 1,000, which is $200, into the personal taxes. And then the remaining amount is that 25%, or $250, that goes into the business expenses. So I use $1,000 because that's a really easy number for me to do on the fly to show you how this money is separated. But I want to take this a step further. When you are calculating a profitable revenue goal based on what your family needs month to month, what your business needs month to month, then you're going to have a very specific number that's calculated. Our revenue goal calculator calculates this number. So let's say that we wanted to pay ourselves $10,000 a month. We wanted $5,000 in business expenses. Okay, well, that's going to be a revenue goal of $20,000. So I'm going to put this in a separate color. I'm going to use blue. So if we had $20,000 coming in many different deposits throughout the month, if we put it all in one big pile first and had $20,000, then we're going to show that 5% of $20,000, let's just because it's just easier for me, that's going to be $1,000 going into profit. It's going to be 50% of 20,000 is going to be $10,000 going into owner's pay. 20% of that is going to be $4,000 going into taxes, and $5,000 for our business investments. So as you can see, when you have a goal that is reverse engineered, and our revenue calculator helps you do that, we will give that to you, that's totally free. That allows you to say, okay, if I want to pay myself $10,000 a month for owner's pay, and I need $5,000 a month for business expenses, and I know that I need to set aside money for taxes, and I still want to be profitable, meaning cash in the bank, then this $20,000 brought in over time will give me $10,000 a month to pay myself and $5,000 a month for business expenses. Now, this is all ideal, right? This is what we would like to be able to say theoretically can happen. But the idea is that we don't necessarily always make exactly $20,000. We might make 25 or 15 or 12. And so this is when it's really important to start to have a framework in place so that you can average a revenue goal and have a way to organize the money that comes in so that you always know how much you want to pay yourself and how much money you have available for business expenses. Thank you, Heather. I'm so glad these illustrations are helpful. I'm a visual person, so I like seeing things written as I learn them. So let's go back to this first thing here. When you make money in your business, it's going to be separated out into 4 main purposes: intentional profit, being able to pay yourself, personal taxes, and business expenses. So I'm going to close this for a second so I can see your beautiful faces again. Okay, so I'm hoping that at this point, profit first, you can see, is a simple yet very effective framework for you to be able to start organizing your money in a very forward-thinking position. So what I want to be able to show you is how you can incorporate all of this together to run a profitable, sustainable business, because it doesn't stop with just profit first. Many profit first professionals actually have gone through our program because they recognize there's a missing piece, and that missing piece is the reverse engineering of the revenue goal and the personal spending plan and personal finances that really make all the world a difference. And the other piece of it really is developing a wealth consciousness practice that allows you to really amplify what you're doing and be able to make quantum leaps in your business. So while we focus primarily first on the foundation of running a profitable, sustainable business, it's really important to also be incorporating in practices that allow us to remove any blocks that we may have that may be manifesting in the body, and know that you can never actually completely eliminate money blocks, because that is part of our overall makeup. It is something that we will always carry with us based on experiences from the past. The beautiful thing is we do have the opportunity and the ability to create our own money story, to completely divert and pivot from the paradigm we may have learned as children. And so I find that as individuals become more knowledgeable in their own finances and their own spending behavior and their own relationship with money, which is all directly tied to when going through the process of implementing Profit for Keeps, it's then a really beautiful gateway of awareness of what actually may be preventing you from going into that next level or for increasing your set wealth point. And those things together, I think, are just such an incredible combination. And I'm just so grateful that you are in that 1% of businesses that are looking to really make a massive difference by understanding your personal and business cash flow and finances. So let's talk a little bit about the 5 main things that you want to have in place to run a profitable, sustainable business. So the very first thing that you want is to have a very clear, purposeful revenue goal. So in the challenge, when we do a full challenge, we actually talk about all the things that go into your personal finances. So people are listing all of their personal finances and also looking to see what other things pop up throughout the year. So this is the things that typically kind of challenge our personal finances because we don't think of them as a monthly bill. So we're talking about replacing tires. I've used my own system for years, and I only recently just finally put tires on my list. And I clearly don't value tires because I don't want them on my list, but I know that I need new tires. So tires are an example. Costco membership, Amazon membership that's paid once a year, vacations, graduation parties, summer camp, although who knows if that's really happening this year. There's so many things that are not a monthly bill. I'm so glad, Gianna, that you put tires on your list. It's one of those things that they're much more expensive than I would like to pay personally, but then I have no problem paying for a massage. So there you go. It's that whole, like, your money is a conduit of your intentions. It is so, so true. So what we like to do with that is, once you have a very clear picture of not just the monthly bills that you're going to need to pay for, but also putting aside money for those bigger things. So let's say you want $1,200 at the end of the year for holiday spending. Well, if you had all of your money in a physical pile and every month you paid yourself, let's say that we're using that example of the $10,000 that we're paying ourselves each month. Well, if we put of that 10,000 every single month that we pay ourselves that, $100 set aside and not touch it every single month, as if it were a bill, as if it were an electric bill or something. Then by the end of the year, 12 months later, you will have $1,200 for holiday spending. And it will not be any different than any other month by putting that $100 aside. So in December, $100 aside, yet voila, you have $1,200 to spend on holiday parties and shopping and whatever else you need to do. So this is where it's really important to think through those true expenses. And the revenue goal allows you to put in how much you actually want to be paying yourself, what your business expenses are, listing those out as well. And it ensures that you are striving to bring in more money than you're spending. Because really, everyone knows, even if they say, oh, I'm not that good with money, we all know that if we have $100 and we spend 90, we're in the green. If we spend 110, we are in the red. And if we do this month after month, we either accumulate debt or we accumulate savings. And as you can see from that example, it's really a very slight difference. Overspending by $10 every month, debt. Underspending by $10 every month, savings. So having a revenue goal that gives you a target, gives all the beautiful, intelligent, driven, determined people in this room a target that you can now create an action plan around. So number one, revenue goal, hands down. This also allows you to really give yourself a tangible goal that you can work towards with confidence. I'll tell you a very quick story. When I first was starting out as a health coach, I was in a mastermind with a business coach, and she was sharing with me a strategy to hit 5K months. And I live in the Washington, D.C. area, and I knew that based on my living expenses, I have a degree in finance. I never thought I would touch finance again with a 10-foot pole, by the way. I was very committed to becoming a health coach. And she said, yeah, well, we're going to hit 5K months. And I said, oh, if I hit 5K months, that's going to be I'm going to be stressed out all the time, because I really know I need to be making 8K months. And she looked at me and she said, well, let's be realistic here. Let's start with 5K. And not to criticize that approach. It was more so just my own takeaway of, wow, I really see this person as an amazing mentor, and I really appreciate everything she's teaching me. And I also know very, very clearly that that is not advice I'm going to be taking. It does not make any sense for me to be striving for 5K when I need 8K, because even though I probably don't need more than 5K right now, I'm still going to owe taxes. I'm still going to need to pay out, for certain things that I may not even be thinking about. I can't do that. Well, this is when I started to see that there was an issue with generic revenue goals, because someone living in Bali is going to have a very different revenue goal than someone living in Oklahoma City, from Manhattan, from Toronto, especially in the city of Toronto. I mean, there are just so many varying degrees of living expenses. So to have a 5K month or a 10K month may or may not work for you. So a generic revenue goal needs to be out the door, so that you can have a goal that when you say, oh my gosh, if I average this, I get to do all the things that I listed. I have money to do all the things that I listed. That's a really incredible feeling. I truly do believe that when your revenue is driven by your dreams, you will always have enough money for the things that matter most to you. There's always something else we could spend money on, but if it doesn't bring us joy, if it doesn't raise our vibration, what's the point? It's an overspend, right? So it's a really beautiful thing. So number one, having a very clear revenue goal. Number two, when you have a very clear revenue goal, you obviously then want to see how you are doing in progressing towards that revenue goal. So you want to have a revenue forecast tool. So this allows you to strategically look at your future months, now and in the future, to see what actions you want to take to ensure that you are setting yourself up to exceed your revenue goal. So if your revenue goal is $15,000 and you are booking, let's say you booked $100,000 in your last launch. That doesn't mean anything, right? What really matters is, did you bring in at minimum $15,000 this month? And if you didn't, what actions do you need to take to bring that revenue up to the 15,000 or higher mark? So when you hear coaches and entrepreneurs online talking about their big launches, just remember they're thinking of all the money they plan to take in over the payment plan term, plus any pay in fulls they have. Any of you that are doing launch cycling now in your business, it's really important to start to see that when you have pay in fulls, you still want to be able to spread it out over the length of the program, so that if you are still delivering service to a client or to a group, that you're still able to pay yourself, right? So I'm going to actually share my screen again really quickly just to show you what I mean by that. I'm just going to draw this out because I think okay. So let's say that your goal, that your goal is $15,000. Well, then what I want you to be thinking about is the cash in your business. So this month it's May, and then June, July, August. So let's say you have a 4-month program, and in that 4-month program, people are paying you $1,500 a month for 4 months. And some are paying in full, and let's say that it's $5,000 for pay in full. And then you have some more that are paying payments. This is really what a cash flow forecast tool looks like. You can do this on a piece of paper. I personally do it in Google Sheets. We offer it inside Profit for Keeps as well. You want to be able to make up a summation. So here we see this is 13,000. This is 3,000. This is 3,000. This is 3,000. So now if your goal is 15,000, you know, well, if I get 10 clients in here, that will hit my goal. If I hit 11 clients, I'll exceed my goal, which is even better. And some of these pay in fulls, I would really love to spread that out over 4 months. So even if I receive the money in, I can say, okay, what's 5,000 divided by 4? That's 1,250. So instead of having the 5,000 here, you can put 1,250. 1,250, 1,250, 1,250. And if you're wondering, how the heck do you keep all this straight? Well, that's where an envelope software system comes in. We'll be talking about that more a little bit later in this conversation. So this allows you to then start taking every sale that you make, putting it into a forecast tool that allows you to then see, okay, what else do I need to do? I need to bring in, 8 more people to hit my revenue goal for next month. What actions can I take to get 8 more people in? So instead of thinking, oh my gosh, how much money do I have in my bank account? How much money am I doing here? when you get into the flow of this, having a really clear revenue goal paired with a revenue forecast tool such as this, you can start being more of a strategist in your business and be able to come up with a key takeaway to bring to you or your team to say, okay, what actions do I need to take to get 8 more clients here? Versus just feeling like, oh my gosh, I need more money, right? So it gives you a very clear picture of what you want to be doing. So this is, I hope you guys can still hear me. For some reason, it's the speaker view, I think, is going to Stacy. I'm not sure why. If someone can just put in the comments so you can hear me, that would be amazing. I'm assuming you can, because I'm assuming that I would be hearing from you if you weren't able to hear me. Thank you, Vicki. Okay. Okay, so Kathleen says I need to bow out. I have a meeting at 2. Perfect. So we will definitely be giving you a replay that you can watch through tomorrow as well. So good to see you. Okay, perfect. So the third thing that you want is a personal budget to run a profitable, sustainable business. This is the key piece that I think most even profit first professionals miss, is the personal budget piece. Now, when I say budget, I don't mean restriction. I don't mean never having fun again. What it really is giving yourself permission to spend on the things that matter most to you. So this ensures that you don't sabotage your newfound profitability in your business with personal spending. I'd actually say that most businesses are very, very profitable. It's the personal spendings that really sabotage the profitability of the business. And also it gives you a plan to pay down debt if you have it and to increase personal savings. So this is a really great way to start to age your money or to create that 2-month buffer. Now, I mentioned that we're going to talk a little bit about debt pay down strategies. This is one of them, is being able to use a personal budget to be very clear on how you are using your money as it comes in. So far we have 3 things. We have the revenue goal, we have the revenue forecast tool, and we have the personal budget. So the 4th thing, Magda, no worries, we will have the replay, so please do come to finish watching that and to connect with any of us if you have any questions. Okay, so your business, your number 4 is your business budget with profit first implementation. So we talked about profit first. When you have a separate business budget that's a very clear organizational system of the money that's coming into your business, the only key difference is that you now also have that initial organization of the money coming in. So instead of everything going to expenses, you now are going to have an intentional amount going to profit, an intentional amount going to owner's pay, taxes, and then the business expenses are intentionally separated out into the ones that you have listed from your work of listing all of your business expenses. The 5th and final piece is a plan to achieve your financial goals and age your money. So this is really just putting everything together, being able to see, okay, is my business set up to run this type of revenue every month? What changes do I need to make? How much do I want to temporarily suspend to be able to make that progress on paying down debt and for really increasing my savings? This allows you to get out of debt, expand your net worth, and no longer feel overwhelmed and feeling like you don't have any control to actually feeling in the strategy seat. So I really want you to just see what your business can look like in 6 to 12 months with your debt regularly decreasing and your net worth increasing. This is something that absolutely can happen. I think many people that I speak to have not allowed themselves to really think about what it is they want to do with the money that comes into their business, because deep down it feels like it's never going to change. And I can assure you that by implementing this framework, you absolutely do have a great possibility and chance for success to pay down debt and to increase your net worth. This is something that I wish everyone had the opportunity to see and understand, because I think that a lot of anxiety and stress stems from feeling like there's no way out. that there is not a clear path to follow. And I am just so amazed by the progress that our clients make in being able to really become so much more at peace with the money that's coming into their business as well. So I would love to know which of these things you are most excited to take action on right away. If you want to just put in the chat what you are most excited to implement and take action on right away. I would, for example, calculating your revenue goal. Have you looked at your business prices, your offers to make sure that that revenue goal can be achieved? A lot of times, yes, Rose, number 4 is a business budget with profit first implementation. Teresa, if you wouldn't mind putting in the chat what I've been mentioning, because normally I think you do that, it would be really good. Just the 5 things. So we have revenue goal, we have revenue goal forecast, personal budget, business budget, and then a plan to age your money. So Gianna is excited to implement the revenue forecast. Perfect. I really love when someone is able to see, and it may be in a moment that it's like, okay, when you calculate your revenue goal, it can almost be like ripping off the Band-Aid a little bit, and that's okay. It's one of those things that it's so much better to fully see and understand that number, and it may be a bit of a shock in the beginning, but it allows you to then start to see what changes to your pricing, what changes to your offers, what changes to the structure so that you can actually have the time freedom to do other things in your life. That's also critically important. So, perfect. I'm just 1 second here. Okay. So you now have the power to go out and take action on what you just learned and get results from that. It's really one of those things that if you don't know how much money you want to be making in your business, it's such a beautiful gift to give yourself. So I highly recommend that you reach out to one of our team members to get a copy of our workbook from our challenge. It gives you the personal tab, it gives you the business tab, so you can put all of that information in there and you can get a very clear revenue goal for yourself. So please do reach out to one of our team members to get that if you would like access to that. We will be offering something on this call today. So anyone who moves forward today will get the access to this incredible bonus, and we will be keeping this replay open through tomorrow. Now, for those of you that are ready, thank you so much for attending, and we are rooting for your success. For those that want to skip over the trial and error and skip ahead, stay with me because your solution has arrived, and it is called Profit for Keeps. So Profit for Keeps is a gold standard framework that helps you not only keep the money you're making, but also give you consistent paychecks, streamline debt pay down, and improve your relationship with money. Now, what this program is essentially a 3-part thing. So the very first thing you're doing is calculating your revenue goal, getting very, very clear on that, understanding the why behind why you would even want to implement this framework, a little bit more detail on how Profit First works, and also just get really clear on how much money you need to be bringing in so that you can make any key changes to your pricing and offers to be able to hit that revenue goal. We notice that a lot of people are left with thinking, oh my gosh, okay, so I really need to focus on my offers and my prices. So I'm really excited that we actually have a bonus that is happening June 1st. So anyone who moves forward today or tomorrow will get, as long as there's 5 spots. So if you are in the first 5 people, you will get access to this pricing and offers workshop, and they're hot seats. So basically, and I love this so much. I used to do this all the time with one-on-one clients. And so we would get the revenue goal, you bring the revenue goal with you, and then we look at your current structure of offer and pricing, and we make sure to hone in on the result that the offer is giving, a very specific price point, and a number of like progression over the next 3 months of how you can build up to your revenue goal using those pricing and offers. So if this is something that you have been a little stuck on in terms of your pricing and packaging and offers, this is definitely something you don't want to miss. It's June 1st from 2 to 4 p.m. Eastern. But the main things in the framework of Profit for Keeps are that the very first thing is your revenue goal. The very second piece is getting very clear on how to use the envelope software system that we teach on. This is a tool called You Need a Budget. And we have many people who have come to us saying, oh my gosh, I found you Googling You Need a Budget and Profit First. I've tried using You Need a Budget and I've been very unsuccessful with it. I tried to implement Profit First. I've been very unsuccessful with it, but it really makes sense to me that I should be doing these two things together. And that's absolutely true. It is one of the most beautiful, synergistic, complementary systems. I cannot tell you how much better I think Profit First is with YNAB versus using the bank accounts. If you've read the book, they talk about a lot of bank accounts. You don't need to use all the bank accounts with this system. So there is a learning curve with this software. So we have an entire module on how to implement your personal budget using YNAB. And we have incredible YNAB hot seats that are run by our resident life coach and YNAB expert, Vicki Holman. And this is a bonus that we're also offering. So that's twice a month right now in Profit for Keeps. So this is a great way to actually get private breakout rooms where you can have your YNAB looked at, which is a really beautiful thing. So the very second thing is getting that personal budget in place. The third and final component of the framework is a module on your business budget with Profit First implementation. So we actually show you how to create a separate budget in YNAB where you don't need all the bank accounts and you can implement Profit First that way. It's really great. So there's those three pieces, and that's all the content right there. There's not a lot of content in there, and there's a reason for that. It's because we know that we want you to be determined, have no plan B, and to get this framework implemented as soon as possible so that you can start using this to really be able to say, I am a key visionary strategist, cash flow management officer in my business. I'm not worrying about the bank balances anymore. I'm looking at what's happening in the next 3 months in terms of revenue. What actions do I need to take to make sure that that revenue is where it needs to be? And be able to actively be involved in what's coming in your business. So as you grow your business, if you're looking to add a team member, it's very easy for you to be able to do that. Now, if you're wondering, how the heck can I join? I want to be in that profit and offer and pricing workshop. I'd love to do this. Well, Teresa's going to put a link to all of the bonuses that we have available for you. Actually, I'll go ahead and put it in there because I have it right now. So this is where you can definitely sign up. We also have something that if you decide to move forward today, I am going to be offering Voxer access to me. If you've not heard of Voxer, it is a walkie-talkie app. So just imagine me being in your pocket. So if you have questions about how to tweak something, or I have a question about the content, instead of waiting for our next office hours, you can send me a message in Voxer and I will respond to you. This has been one of the most coveted, successful bonuses that we've had in this program. And I keep saying I'm going to take it away, but I love it so much. So I would love to connect with you. So if you are first of 5 people, and if you join today, you will get that Voxer access as well as all other bonuses that we are offering. So here's what Profit for Keeps includes. It gives you access to the full framework and content and everything that we add in there, any sort of bonuses, etc. They sit in there, and you have that available for a full 12 months or until you decide to no longer stay a part of this program. This is a renewable program, so if you have many people who actually renew year after year because they find our office hours, our co-working, our community so inspiring and also very helpful to running a profitable, sustainable business. Now, you also are basically learning how to implement Profit First and Profit for Keeps into your business and your personal life. And so you're getting a really clear, holistic cash flow management system for both personal and business. Now, you also get to be able to use this as your business grows. So this is an incredible framework to implement. Now, here are some of the perks that are included with Profit for Keeps. We have twice a month office hours. So we have a space for you to be able to come and ask questions. And we always ask that you have a goal of attending and having at least one question each time that you attend. And that will really give you forward progress on implementing this framework. You also get access to a private community of businesses that have and are implementing the Profit for Keeps framework. This is a really beautiful place to network. We've had many people actually work with other members of Profit for Keeps and also do collaborations, accountability. It's really a beautiful place because, as you can see, we attract some really beautiful people. You also get access to an accountability partner within the community. So you have an opportunity to post all of your details, your time zone, and have an accountability partner as well. So here are some exclusive pay in full bonuses. If you do decide to pay in full, by tomorrow, you will get a one-on-one financial blueprint session with myself and Vicki. This is a $3,500 value in itself. This is something that I used to do with private clients as our first session, and it really gives people a beautiful way to just zoom forward in terms of your plan. So it's looking at your revenue goal, looking at your business structure, and really giving you a very clear path forward to continue to implement the framework, but also have a very clear picture on knowing, it's just sometimes having the confidence that you did it properly. And that's what that blueprint session is for. Now, like I said, if you purchase today, you will also get to go to the live package and pricing coaching, that workshop that we have, that is a hot seat session happening on June 1st from 2 to 4 p.m. That you must, if you're going to have that, you must purchase today or tomorrow. Again, our doors are closing. We're just opening them very, very shortly today and tomorrow for you to join us. And so for Voxer access, you must purchase today. For that workshop, as long as you are the first 5 people, that's open through tomorrow. All of the other bonuses I'm mentioning are open through tomorrow, regardless if you're the first 5 or not. So we have the co-working sessions. These are twice a month co-working calls. People love these sessions. They're run by my Profit for Joy Squad team. And it's a really great place to get either caught up on your own Profit for Keeps homework or reconciliation, or you can also just use it to work on other things and just have community. Community is such an important thing, especially right now, since we're not seeing a lot of people in human, or in human, in what's the word? In the flesh. And then the third bonus, I'm really excited to be offering this, is group hot seats and coaching in the mindset realm and in the YNAB realm. And so Vicki is doing twice a month calls right now for the next couple of months. And we're looking to really see what the community needs. I can definitely tell you that mindset, when it comes to this, is such a key piece. And it also helps tremendously when we take forward action in just simply setting up a framework that allows us to have more clarity and control around our money. And so this is something that I really feel, once you have done that, it's like half the battle. Like all of a sudden, it's, if you ever like not worked out for a while and then you start working out again, and you may not physically look any different, but you feel so much better. That's the same thing that happens with this. So I want to just quickly ask Vicki to come in and just come off mute if you can, Vicki, and just share a little bit about how you found Profit First and Profit for Keeps and how it helped you in your own business with your husband.
Hi.
Hi.
I actually found you by Googling YNAB and Profit First. That's actually how I found it. And then that led me to a podcast. And then from there, it was history. It has been absolutely amazing. It's like one of those things that you absolutely know this is what you were looking for almost immediately. That's how it felt for me, because of your message resonated so clearly. And I went through a challenge and I was just like, yes, this is what I'm missing. We implemented into a dental office, and we were hit with a big tax bill, and I didn't understand. In our first call together, we talked about, I was blaming my accountant, and you absolutely said it is not your accountant's responsibility. Your accountant's responsibility is to pay the minimum, or to have you putting out. And I remember the conversation when my accountant asking me, what do I want? And I said, I want to pay the minimum. Well, I hadn't planned accordingly for taxes. And I went through, I implemented this into the dental office, and it was almost immediately I saw the results and completely changed my mindset.
That's awesome, Vicki. And so would you say now that you feel more comfortable when next tax season comes around?
Oh, absolutely. I'm never, ever going to have a tax problem again.
Okay, amazing. And then would you say also, like, in terms of the YNAB piece, could you just talk a little bit about your experience with using YNAB versus using the bank accounts? And do you see any benefit of using YNAB?
Absolutely. Okay. So I've been using YNAB since 2013, but I was using it wrong. And that was also one of the first things that I learned, was I was using it as a tracking mechanism instead of the intention mechanism. Mm-hmm. And I had started, when I read Profit First, before I found you, I did open a couple of bank accounts. Mm-hmm. And it actually stressed me out because I was worried about having enough money, and I still didn't have your framework. And so I didn't have all of the pieces in place, but I was worried about overdraft fees and not having enough to cover things. And so when I implemented your framework completely, that was completely gone, that stress and that worry.
That's incredible, Vicki. Well, I just want to thank you really quickly for coming on and talking about your experience. You guys, I really want to give you an opportunity to just give Vicki so much love right now, because she is in the process of moving. She got a 24-hour stomach bug yesterday. And then she got stuck on the highway in the middle of that. And she is so incredibly committed to this movement that I swear to God, nothing's stopping her. And so, Vicki, I really want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for being on this call today, even though we kept insisting you go to bed and you are still here. So thank you for being here, and thank you for sharing your story. And, please, everyone in the comments, give Vicki love, because it's just really incredible. And I'm really moved by you. So thank you.
You're welcome. Happy to be here.
Okay. All right, guys. So if you're looking to not have any sort of tax stress, this is the program for you. It is absolutely an incredible way to ensure that you are taking a proactive stance in your finances. Now, I want to make this really clear on who this is for, who this is not for, because it's important that you feel comfortable and empowered by moving forward with this. If this feels like, yes, this is a yes for me. This is for someone who is running an online business, someone who is in a service-based industry, someone who is basically great at making money, but really struggling to see where it's going. And this is not for someone who has never made a penny in their business, unless you have some sort of outside funding that you are using for this program. We have had people that have just started in business enter our program, but it's really important that you recognize that this is not for someone who has not even started in business. We want you to have an established business and have income coming in so that you have a basis to start from. Now, again, we have the link in the chat, but Teresa, if you could just put that link in there again. We have two options for you. You can either do pay in full, which again, you'll get that one-on-one bonus with Vicki and I, plus all the other bonuses. And you save 10% by paying in full, or you can start for as little as $850 today. And so that's a payment plan over 12 months, and it's absolutely worth its weight in gold. I could not sleep at night if my clients were not getting a return on their investment. So here are some things that I really want to make sure that we have in place to ensure that you have the best chance for success. We put into the program as little content as possible because I know you're busy. I know that you are not having the time to actually go through mountains and mountains of content. So we keep that as short as possible because we really want you to just implement the framework as quickly as possible and then start using that to really navigate the finances and also the strategy in your business. We also know that it's really important to feel like we're in a safe space to talk about money. So we have these co-working sessions, we have regular hot seats, we have all sorts of additional opportunities to connect and talk about money. And so that's really important as well. We also really love to just go above and beyond. So it's really important to us that you are heard, that you are seen, that you are understood. So we always are asking our members, is there anything we can do to make this experience even better for you? So remember, the buy now bonuses are Voxer access to me. The 48-hour only bonuses are the pricing and offer workshop that's starting on June 1st from 2 to 4 p.m. Eastern. And we really want to just open this up for any questions that you may have. I know that there were some in the comments, so I'm just going to go back through and see, because I know that there was a question. Let's see. Heather asked, I have a bookkeeper to pay me monthly salary and also give myself owner's distributions quarterly. Are these two income streams part of owner's pay bucket or separate? So the monthly salary, just the money coming into your personal, is definitely owner's pay. And the distributions quarterly is technically owner's pay as well, unless she's doing some sort of profit first model. And in that case, it might be coming from profit. We teach in Profit for Keeps the quarterly distribution of profit. And so that is actually coming from your profit pile, not from the owner's pay pile. And yes, so the other thing is, let's see, I just want to reiterate that this is a 12-month program. It builds on each other. So first you're implementing the framework, and then you're using that framework to really make better business decisions in your business, to work on your wealth consciousness practice, to be able to really see what may be stopping you from increasing your set wealth point and your pricing, etc. The bonuses that we have provided are really to help amplify this process. So the Voxer access is to amplify the process. The workshop is to help you get even faster results because you now have a very clear offer. You have a very clear price. You have a very clear strategy to move forward. So I want to thank you so much for attending. Thank you for your time today. Thank you for your questions, for your beautiful energy. Please know that you can reach out to anyone on our team if you have any questions at all about Profit for Keeps and the doors opening. And for those watching on Facebook Live, we will be putting the links in there very quickly. So please know that the bonus for Voxer access ends today. So if this is something you know you want to do, please do jump on that. And we have 5 seats total available for the workshop itself. Please know that if you have any questions, reach out to me, reach out to Vicky, reach out to Gianna. We would love to answer your questions. And we look forward to welcoming you inside Profit for Keeps. Thank you so much for being here today. Thank you so much for your time and your energy. I am so grateful to all of you and thankful so much to my team for being here as well. Much love to you all, and we will hopefully see you inside. All right, take care, everyone. Bye.